Thank you for joining us today on HxGN TV. I'm your host, Vanessa Flores, and today we're discussing latest developments in portable metrology with two guests from Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence North America. I'm joined by Jean Daniel, Product Manager for Portable Measuring Arms, and Joel Martin, Product Manager for Laser Trackers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Yes.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Joel, let's start with you. Hexagon laser tracker systems have pioneered a number of new technologies over the years, including 6 degrees of freedom, 6 DOF measurement. But now you're talking about 7 DOF. Can you explain what you mean by this?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started more than a decade ago by making laser trackers do more. Traditionally, laser trackers were just a 3 degree of freedom measurement system. And in order to be able to scale it into industry, we wanted to be able to make the system easier to operate and be able to do more tasks more efficiently. So we added the ability to measure in 6 degrees of freedom. What that really means is being able to probe with the unit, being able to scan with the unit, being able to do more than just measure a 3D point. About a year and a half ago, we released the brand new tracker, the AT960, and on that tracker we've introduced a feature pack. The feature pack allows us to do real-time output of the data, which is the 7th degree. So 6 degrees of freedom is the measurement, the 7th degree is the time separation. That allows us to do things like machine control, robot calibration. It allows us to take the laser tracker and bring it into machine space to drive the machines to do metrology tasks with simple off-the-shelf robots that were never designed to achieve that level of accuracies.
So you touched on it a little bit, the potential of this new laser tracker technology. Do you have an example of it already in operation?
Absolutely. I think the best example today is a European project called MegaRob. It was a really interesting initiative. They decided to try to take a common off-the-shelf robot, hang it from an overhead crane, and be able to do precision manufacturing tasks with the robot, which at its inset sounds like an impossible task. To be able to do it, we use the 7 DOF technology on the end effector of the robot to really drive just the end effector of the robot to do the task, whether that's a milling task, a drilling task, deburring, buffing, anything that you would typically do with a very high accuracy gantry machine, but we're using really nothing more than an off-the-shelf robot hanging from an overhead crane system to be able to do it. They've been able to do tasks where we can achieve accuracies in the static positioning range of around 50 microns and dynamic accuracies of under 200 microns.
So is automation the main direction you see laser tracker technology developing towards then? Why are laser trackers so well suited to automated applications?
Yeah. So yes and yes. The trackers are moving more and more into the automated space. When laser trackers first came on the scene in the early 90s, they were just a manual device, so it required an operator to be able to use them. Today, we're trying more and more to bring the tracker itself into the manufacturing space, which means putting it on robots, putting the end effectors into use. So everything that we do around design of the equipment is focused in that direction of bringing the metrology equipment into the manufacturing space. So that's things like making sure the equipment is IP54 certified. That's an egress protection to make sure that if water drips on it or dust is in the environment, it doesn't harm the equipment. To be able to make it so that we can run it over long periods of time with a guaranteed uptime so that it can meet the manufacturing rates. All of that comes into our design criteria of new trackers.
And Jean, your area of expertise is portable measuring arms. And Hexagon Romer's Absolute Arm is also being used to provide data for automated systems. Could you tell us about the Tube Shaper solution for bending machines?
Sure, Vanessa. So Tube Shaper is a system that's been designed to be easy and simple to use for operators. You know, as technology increases, the need for a floor operator as opposed to a metrologist to run the equipment has become more and more important. So it's a very cost-effective, simple system. We use tube probes, which are simple devices with an infrared light beams that you see when you walk into your 7-Eleven. It's just very intuitive, very straightforward, and anybody can understand it and use it. The other folks use these scanners, and it's just complicated and it takes way more time.
But Tube Shaper isn't just for automation. It's a metrology software developed specifically for tube-related measurements. What are the key functions that differentiate it in the marketplace?
Yeah, so it's easier and simple to use. So your operator using it, it's like your iPhone. You don't need a manual. You turn it on, you use it. It's very straightforward. It's not hard to use.
A lot of work went into the usability of the software. Could you tell us why user experience is so important to manufacturers today?
Right. So that's like I was saying before. When you're talking about the people that a manufacturing operation needs to be able to use the system, it's important that it just work. It's got to be like a hammer. It can't be hard. It's just got to be very straightforward. And that's the system we believe we brought to the market.
And Joel, Hexagon laser tracker technology is also focusing heavily on UX. You recently released a new scanning solution which was designed with usability in mind. What can you tell us about that?
That's great. The LIS20 Dash II is the scanner. I mentioned trackers being able to measure in 6 degrees of freedom earlier. This is a scanner that requires that type of technology, and it allows you to bring the scanner over very large volumes and very accurately measure surface detail, features, etc. What we did on the scanner that was a little bit unique was we focused on not just the data and how you acquire the data, but the usability, what the operator has to do with it. So we brought the user interface to the scanner. We made it so that the operator never has to walk between the scanning unit and the computer that he's collecting data on, and he can do everything right from where he is. That includes things like battery operation, haptic feedback control back to the scanner to give him knowledge of where he is and where he's scanning without having to look back to the computer or to anything else to drive that process.
What's the next stage of development for laser trackers then? What improvements can we expect to see over the next couple of years?
I think it goes directly in the two concepts of what we've talked about. So we've talked about automation, we've talked about UX. Those are huge, huge drivers for us. As Gene mentioned, we focus heavily on not just what the equipment does, but how the equipment is used, how it's going to be implemented, where it's going to be implemented, what environments it is, who's using it, is it mounted on a robot, is it manned by a human being? So those are all things that come into our context, and the products just continue to drive closer and closer into that space. And again, our goal is through the thinking, sensing, acting of being able to bring metrology into the manufacturing space and really drive the manufacturing with the quality from the instruments.
And finally, Gene, Hexagon released its most accurate roamer absolute arm, the 77 series model, early in 2016. Do you think we'll continue to see increases in accuracy across the range? And how will the portable measuring arm business develop to continue to engage with industry trends?
Thanks, Vanessa. So, accuracy means different things to different people. Different industries, what is accurate for one guy is terribly inaccurate for somebody else. So we try to stay up to date with what everybody's working on and what their needs are. And it may not be an accuracy as in a measurement that what they need. They may need to know that the speed and confidence that they can make their measurements with are just spot on. They're great. They don't have to worry about, is my measurement good or not? Mm-hmm. They need to know it happens accurately, it happens fast. And this all fits back into quality drives productivity. The better you can make your parts, the faster that you can get feedback into your processes, the less scrap you're going to make, and the more efficient and profitable your business will be.
We would like to thank our guests, Gene Daniel and Joel Martin. To find out more about Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence Portable Measurement Solutions, check out hexagonmi.com. For more on HxGN TV or additional episodes, please visit hxgntv.com. Thanks for watching.